Grand Rising Loves. This is the altar spread for the collective today. And so you're going to see a bunch of cards you've seen before. And so I have an offer before I even start the spread today, because I know some of y'all don't listen all the way to the end. I have an offer. And I am taking Thanksgiving off. And I only have one session Friday. I am making the offer that if you need help in this area, coming clean, aligning with your highest integrity, speaking your heart, if you have trouble with those things specifically, I'm not talking aligning with your path and purpose, that's a whole session. But if you have trouble saying something that you know that you've been holding for a long time, and you don't know how to express that, I will help you get that out. So it will not take the amount of time that a whole session would take. And I would be more than honored for that trust to help you move through that. Because for that card to constantly be showing up, like it literally jumped out of the deck today. And so I feel like maybe I need to extend myself in a different way. I did make this offer before, but it was at the end of a video. So no one reached out to me, not a single one. And for this card to keep showing up, it means that, first of all, this is a spread for the collective consciousness. What is that? That is everything. That is all of y'all, okay? Because I pull a card for myself, and I always have the same affirmation for both. Please bless this draw with love, light, and accuracy. Any message for me personally is accepted in love, gratitude, and reverence. And then I draw my card. I put my card back into the deck and I shuffle it again, okay? And then I say the same thing. Please bless this draw with love, light, and accuracy for the collective. Whatever message needs to show up for the collective, so the greatest percentage of the collective, what needs to be worked on, accomplished in order to raise the frequency of the collective as the entire vibration of this earth plane is being raised, so that that dense energy can be eradicated and we can all ascend and we can all return to unity consciousness. And so, I mean, it makes sense, because really, honestly, there is only one way. Only one thing that people need to do is open their hearts. And if you could do that, it would change fucking everything. But how do I get everyone to open their hearts? I mean, this is a monumental task, right? And so I ask this constantly. As a Ho'oponopono practitioner, I'm constantly chiseling away at those experiences that are creating an aversion to love and a wedge and closing hearts. And so that's what I'm working on. And I believe beyond my own fathoming that this can be accomplished. But I am extending myself to say that if there is something that you've been holding that needs to be said, and it probably is that one thing that you know is going to rewrite your entire existence, because you just need to say that one thing, but you're scared. So it stays there, and it actually creates a block in the heart. And it prevents your evolution, it prevents your ascension, it prevents health, like physical health. And so reach out to me. You can reach me through my website, divinityinn.me, or any of my social media, Instagram, Facebook. I'm on WhatsApp. Where else? Even YouTube. Comment here. Message me on YouTube. Anyhow, That's my invitation. So, the sacred geometry that showed up today, we've seen it before. It's medicine wheel. Medicine wheel showed up in the reverse. Showing up in the reverse, it's talking about a severing of connectedness to all that is. Now, the medicine wheel calls in all the four directions, north, south, east, west, also all of the elements, water, wind, fire, earth, and all that is, the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, mineral kingdom, and human. And there are some tribes that actually split up their medicine wheel for the races. And so I have a medicine wheel myself, and it's set up in the directions, the four directions, and I call in the four main archangels. And Uriel is the guardian of the north, Michael the guardian of the south, Gabriel of the west, and Raphael of the east. And so, and I also have all of the elementals are honored in my medicine wheel. And so it is really important to know that everything is you. And there is no hierarchy. We are not above animals. And this is not about being vegan. Again, I talk about this all the time. Being a meat eater does not make you a murderer. And there is a reverence that's involved with sacrifice that needs to be shared and that has actually been lost. As people evolve, that reverence has been lost. And that's also why I talk about my soul wisdom so much. I was never taught this. First of all, it's a Germanic, Irish, Ukrainian bloodline that I have. And so, yes, very deep Celtic, but the Germanic roots also are deeply embedded in this in earthy reverence, but that has all been lost. So I was not raised that way, but I have this soul wisdom that has returned me to that. And it is not appropriation of any culture because I was not taught this. I was a child doing this. And this is what I try to share with people. We have come here again, and again. And the younger souls are just observing. Okay? And so I understand that their level of understanding is not going to be where an older souls would be. But connectedness is important for us to be teaching. And that transcends borders and cultures. It's just something that's necessary. It's a reverence and love for all things. And it's important. It's really important. So the medicine wheel is saying that's been severed and you have to return to that. That's part of unity consciousness. And I know it's really hard for people to wrap their heads around, but everything is you. That's why it's so important if you have a very specific run-in with a species of bird or animal, it's very important for you to pay attention to their mannerisms and what that animal is, because that's actually messages from the divine as well. Now, soul retrieval showed up also in the reverse. And what this says is you have actually sacrificed your integrity in order to be loved. And so this is something that comes up all the time in the spreads. And so even though this is a fairly new card for us to see, beautiful card, it is not a new message. It's talking about integrity again. And that how that is self-betrayal, but also comes from a place of trauma. So your deceit is actually a trauma response. And then you are traumatizing those that you're holding captive to your lie. And so it's really important to come clean so that there are no captives. Everyone deserves to be free. That's what the whole saying, love should feel free. Real, true love is free. That's what the freedom is that you're both so honest that the love becomes so intimate and sacred. That's what freedom is. It's not like, okay, you can have a side piece and I'm going to come and pretend like that shit didn't happen while you're cooking my meals for me or whatever. I mean, it's just shady shit. Just come clean with it. And so here, Krista Cola showed up again, and this is what I'm talking about. This is why I'm extending that invitation. So if you're having an issue expressing that, call me, and I'll help you get that out. Because it's really important for you, one, to recognize the pattern of you lying, and also move past the fear so that you don't keep repeating that pattern and perpetuate that behavior, because that is a trauma response. And so people who are used to lying will continue to lie and always lie. And those of us in our highest integrity who are very honest can't and won't. And it's just, everyone should be in that space. And I'm not saying everyone should be like me. Everyone should be honest. I'm not saying be like Sherry. I'm saying be fucking honest. And here is Krista Cola again. I'm going to show you a different stone each time. We'll see what's up. These are all raw pieces. I should go get a piece of polished so that you can actually see what it looks like polished. It's really beautiful though, because polished is just going to have that really nice sheen. I'll try to rub that. Really pretty, right? And I love when Ho'oponopono shows up, the immeasurable power of the heart way, as a Ho'oponopono practitioner. It's beautiful. So again, Ho'oponopono is an ancient practice of the indigenous Hawaii Islands, and it is the practice of returning to zero, of cleansing, of making right that which is in disharmony. Because there is no right or wrong, right? Having no judgment means that you are heart-centered. So when something shows up, you're not like, oh, that's horrible. You just say, that is not harmonious. That is not in alignment with divine behavior. So I'm going to cleanse that. I'm going to cleanse it all. And then you take full responsibility for everything that shows up. Like yesterday, I made a post about a conversation my brother and I had. Literally, I was in high school. And I can't remember if I was 16, 17. I don't think I was 18 because I don't think it was my senior year. I think it was younger. And I can only imagine how bad he felt. And so he's like, Sherry, I don't remember this conversation. And he's like, obviously, I wasn't mature enough to know. And I'm like, no apologies. You don't realize like how important our experiences are and what we save, right? So I don't have an ego in my healing space and with my friends. My ego shows up in relationship because that's where my trauma is. It's with male energy. And so in relationship, deep intimacy, and that surrender and feeling safe, that's where my ego shows up. So my ego has this information stored about who I am and what these men are going to do. And so I'm constantly trying to redirect myself. Now, I do not hold them accountable for my ego. And so that's what also sets me apart, because that would be perpetuating a lie and holding someone captive if I did that. But I can very much recognize when those feels or when I'm triggered, when that comes up, I am very aware of it. And so I don't hold them accountable for something that's super old. But I told my brother, I was like, no, that responsibility is mine, not yours. And I love you. Like, it doesn't, I have no ill feeling towards my brother for saying that at all. I love him immensely. But this is really like Ho'oponopono would have us sit together as the practice. And so we can both cleanse that together. So whatever was in his mind that made him create that statement could be cleansed so that it could actually heal that for male energy, but also myself to heal that for the female energy as receiving that. And then it would not poison either of our experiences. And so Ho'oponopono is about being 100% responsible for everything that shows up. Everything that shows up. And so I am taking responsibility for this showing up. And that's why I've extended that invitation. So anyone listening, please, I will be more than happy to help you move through that. Honored even. So thank you. That's the spread. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you.